What kind of a fighter was Bruce Lee? How good was he? To answer those questions, let's study the man in some videos. Here's a full contact sparring video of Bruce Lee. Bruce has the white straps across his back. He's not being aggressive, he's stepping back a lot. But he has excellent understanding of distance. What really jumps out here as good is Bruce Lee's reflexes. He's responding quickly and effectively to attacks. Here, you can see him pull a knee strike that even with gear probably would have been a fight ender. He definitely has real power. He also has impressive speed and balance. And here he hits a really nice sweep for a takedown. His movement is also really nice. He's always in a position to launch a counterattack and aware of the distance. Here, we're going to see him hit and then pull a stop hit. But if he'd gone all the way through with it, he would have put his opponent down hard. If you're looking for positives about Bruce Lee, his reflexes and ability to react is what really jumps out here. And that lead hand of his is no joke. Coming up here, we're going to see him land that lead and pull it, but he's still going to rock his opponent back hard, even not going full power. In terms of negatives, what jumps out here is that this doesn't look like a world-class fighter going 100% if we're being honest. I'm going to make the argument this is because he isn't going anywhere near 100%. You're not really watching Bruce Lee fighting here. How he would fight is different than this. You are watching exactly what this is, exactly what he said it was. This is Bruce Lee the teacher and his students introducing America to the idea of full contact sparring instead of the low contact karate point sparring that was popular at the time. So how would Bruce Lee really fight? Let's start with the fact that he based his martial arts style on fencing. You can see a little of that here with how he is constantly extending his lead hand out, almost like a fencing foil. But fencing isn't reactive. Fencing is aggressive, fast-paced, high pressure. Even moving backwards, fencing involves continual attacks. Fencing looks a lot like how people described Bruce Lee as a fighter. Fencing also looks like how Bruce Lee wrote about and taught fighting. If Bruce Lee was actually an aggressive, fast, high-pressure fighter, why is he the opposite in the sparring video? I'm going to make an analogy here to grapplers. As part of training, good grapplers will put themselves in bad positions to get better by working out of them. They will drill defending against someone who has back control or side control on them. In the sparring video, Bruce Lee is letting his opponents initiate. He's putting himself in bad positions and working his way out. He's purposely not attacking or setting traps. So in order to know what kind of a fighter Bruce Lee was, we need to look further than just his sparring video. And we can start by asking, what tools are required in order to fence with your body? You're going to need a good lead hand and lead leg that are dangerous like a rapier. That means power, speed, accuracy. Let's take a look at some other videos to get an idea of how Bruce Lee would actually fight. Yeah, he was fast. But he wasn't just fast. His attacks could seem to come from nowhere. He didn't load up or signal what he was about to do. He had excellent non-telegraphed movements. He was also precise. And he had power to go along with the speed. Sure, his inch power demonstrations, the 2-finger push-ups, were theatrical. But they were also real. No CGI, wires, or guys throwing themselves back. These guys are getting hit hard. Those chairs are really flying across the ground. To go along with that hard-hitting lead hand, he had a beautiful side kick. That lead hand was going to be going for an opponent's head, and his side kick was often going to be targeting the knee, just like a really nice oblique kick would be targeting the kneecap. Then there's Bruce Lee's secret weapon, his Wing Chun. When he fires off that lead hand like a fencer thrusting a sword, If there's something in his way, he'd be looking to clear it and land his punch. If there was another punch or a guard or a block, he was looking to trap his way through. Bruce Lee was capable of blasting through guards, blocks, and other attacks with his trapping. Stories were it was hard to know how good his Wing Chun was, because against most folks he penetrated and scored a hit in 3 movements or less. Let's just say that if his fist touched an opponent's arm, his attack was just beginning, and his fist or elbow could slip around or through to still score a headshot. So if Bruce Lee had not been playing with his opponents, what would he have looked like as a fighter? He would not be reactive. He would be aggressive and high pressure. He'd not just extend his lead hand. He would fence. Side kicks and oblique kicks would be lashing out at knees. His lead hand would be lashing out. His rear hand would be helping clear any obstruction in its way. He would be fast and powerful. He would be non-telegraphed. He'd be nearly impossible to anticipate. In my opinion, Bruce Lee was an amazing fighter, and it is too bad we don't have any film of him going at even 90%. But we do know enough from stories, his writings, and bits of film like the ones we've looked at here to have a good idea of what type of fighter he really was. In your mind's eye, understand what it would look like if when he cocked that lead hand back, he were to explode forward in an attack, and not just play with his opponent.